Compound worth, comparable to 1,236.97 rands a coin. The current expense range, 1214.49 1,291.55. The prior day, close, 1,251.55. The change was 14.581.16. Inverse rates SAR. To intensify, esteem pre-compound expense conjecture on Monday, August 7. Expense 1261 rands, high 1349, low 1173. Compound measure on Tuesday, August 1. Expense 1436 rands, high 1537, low 1335. Compound expense conjecture on Wednesday, August 2. Expense 1395 rands, high 1493, low 1297. Compound check on Thursday, August 10. Expense 1248 rands, high 1335, low 1161. In multi-week compound expense estimate on Friday, August 4. Expense 1243 rands, high 1330, low 1156. Compound check on Monday, August 7. Expense 1234 rands, high 1320, low 1148. Compound expense gauge on Tuesday, August 8. Expense 1200 rands, high 1284, low 1116. Compound check on Wednesday, August 9. Expense 1258 rands, high 1346, low 1170. Compound expense estimate on Thursday, August 10. Expense 1221 rands, high 1306, low 1136. In around 14 days. Compound gauge on Friday, August 11. Expense 1155 rands, high 1236, low 1074. Compound expense figure on Monday, August 14. Expense 1119 rands, high 1197, low 1041. Compound gauge on Tuesday, August 15. Expense 1113 rands, high 1191, low 1035. Compound expense estimate on Wednesday, August 16. Expense 1253 rands, high 1341, low 1165. Compound gauge on Thursday, August 17. Expense 1200 rands, high 1284, low 1116. Out of 3 weeks. Compound expense conjecture on Friday, August 18. Expense 1164 rands, high 1245, low 1083. Compound gauge on Monday, August 21. Expense 1261 rands, high 1349, low 1173. Compound expense conjecture on Tuesday, August 22. Expense 1421 rands, high 1520, low 1322. Compound gauge on Wednesday, August 23. Expense 1386 rands, high 1483, low 1289. Compound expense conjecture on Thursday, August 24. Expense 1553 rands, high 1662, low 1444. Compound expense assumption for November 22, 23 to begin with cost at 1371 rands, extravagant expense 1452, while minimal expense 1262. The found the center worth of cost 1361. Compound quote toward the months and 1357 change for November 1.0. Compound gauge for December 2023 to begin with cost at 1357 rands, unnecessary expense 1357, while minimal expense 1087. The showed up at the midpoint of cost 1243. Compound expense gas toward the months and 1169 change for December 13.9. Compound expense assumption for January 2024. At the beginning expense at 1169 rands, over the top expense 1227, while minimal expense 1067. The showed up at the midpoint of cost 1153. Compound expense gas toward the month's end 1147 change for January. 1.9. Compound guess for February 2024 at the beginning expense at 1147 rands, unreasonable expense 1424, while minimal expense 1147. They showed up at the midpoint of cost 1262. Compound expense gas toward the months and 1331 change for February. 16.0. Compound expense assumption for WAC 2024. At the start cost at 1331 rands, extreme expense 1447, while minimal expense 1257. The found the center worth of cost 1347. Compound expense check toward the months and 1352 change for spring. 1.6. Compound check for April 2024. In any case, cost at 1352 rands, extravagant expense 1470, while minimal expense 1278. The found the center worth of cost 1369. Compound expense measure toward the months and 1374 change for April. 1.6. Compound expense assumption for May 2024 at first expense at 13.74 rams, exorbitant expense 14.94 while cost 12.98, they showed up at the midpoint of cost 13.91 compound expense figure toward the months and 13.96 change from a 1.6 compound measure for June 2024 to begin with cost at 13.96. The expense of rands was recorded as 17.32, while the low-cost option was priced at 13.96. These figures indicate that the midway cost was 15.36. Additionally, there is a prediction that the compound cost will increase by 16%, reaching 16.19 by the end of June. Looking ahead, there is a forecast that the compound cost for August 2024 will be 16.19, based on the initial cost. The cost of rands is 17.60, but the low-cost option is priced at 15.30. The midpoint of the cost, amounting to $1,639, was reached in relation to the compound cost hypothesis for the month of N, specifically in the year 1645. There was a change of 1.6 in the compound conjecture for the month of August 2024, with an initial cost of $16.45. The cost of rands in 2042 was found to be higher at 2042, while the low-cost option was priced at 1645. These figures indicate that the average cost was 18 N, suggesting a compound cost supposition over the course of several months. In August 1908, there was a shift of 16% in the cost, and it is expected that the compound cost for September 2024 will be at 1908, based on the initial cost. The cost of rands was recorded at 2075, while the low-cost option was priced at 1803. These figures indicate that the average cost, or midpoint, was calculated to be 1931. Based on this data, it can be conjectured that the cost of rands fluctuated towards the end of the month, reaching 1939 by September. Furthermore, a compound estimate suggests that the cost is expected to increase to 2024 by October. It is important to note that the initial cost recorded was 1939. The cost of rand was discovered to be 2108, while the low-cost option was priced at 1832. The median value of the cost was determined. The compound cost estimate in 1962 was calculated for the months leading up to October 1970. The projected compound cost forecast for November 2024 is 1.6 times the initial cost in 1970. The cost of rands is quite high at 2142, whereas there is a comparatively lower cost option available. In 1862, the middle value of cost was determined. The initial cost estimate for a compound in 1994 is related to the monthly expenses, while the change in cost for November 2002 is associated with a compound estimate of 1.6.